one of our greatest intellectuals, scholars, and just a good dude, Notorious Big, Biggie Smalls, for those that are hip hop aficionados, AKA Frank White, once said it was all a dream. For those that go a click down, and this is your test to whether you know real hip hop, he then said, I used to read Word Up magazine. It's these words from Biggie that have always stayed with me as someone who appreciates the power of language, the power of words, but also the way in which Biggie articulated a vision. And it wasn't just any vision. It was a vision rooted in dreaming. Dreaming from the streets of Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, to being one of the most celebrated artists and influencers of our time. But when I talk about the concept of dreams, I'm not talking about that dream where you go to sleep and you win the Powerball and you don't show up to work the next day. You don't give them a forwarding address when you win the Powerball. At least I'm not. Keep all of my stuff. I'm talking about this concept of dreaming that allows us to see from where we are, to see the possibilities. For those that understand the movie Love Jones, Lorenz Tate talked about the power of words and writing and the possibilities that it creates. You see, the idea of dreaming isn't just about the dream. It's about the journey. The journey to get there, wherever there might be. For me, I started out dreaming by looking at the clouds. As an 8-year-old growing up in Detroit, playing baseball at McCabe Field in the Police Athletic League. Now, when I was dreaming, I probably dropped a few balls along the way. My mother would always tell the story that I would let the ball just drop in front of me. My friends would just say I couldn't play. It's some combination of the two. I would like to think that while I'm looking up at the clouds and the ball literally drops right in front of me, I was dreaming. I wasn't dreaming about catching the ball clearly. I wasn't even dreaming about whether I was a good baseball player. Definitely not that. What I was dreaming about was the possibilities. The possibilities of what was to come on my journey from 6350 Colfax in zip code 48210 in Detroit, which is not far from where the social uprising happened in the 60s on 12th and Claremont, to trying to figure out what would allow me to go from a struggling high school sophomore, knowing that my mother and grandmother loved me dearly, to then become one of the first African-American professors to be tenured and promoted at Loyola University, Maryland. But all of that came as I navigated, as Dr. Jen Wright says from Harvard in his research, the wounds and scars that we all face. See, here's the thing. Dr. Jen Wright clearly says to us that young people all have dreams. And they have these dreams amidst the wounds and scars. It's these wounds and scars that help me dream. I was most wounded and had the most scars on the day that I found out about my father's incarceration. You see, my father was incarcerated the majority of my life. In and out, in and out, in and out. It challenged me to even consider a willingness to dream. But what it also taught me by watching my mother wake up every day and go to work, as an alum of Spelman College, my grandmother, rest her soul, getting up every day, they had a dream for themselves, but they also had a dream for me. But my mother would always say to me, but I can't dream that dream for you. You have to dream the dream for yourself. Dreaming is hard. Dreaming can be scary, but dreaming can be exciting. When we think about all the dreamers that have come before us, from leaders to teachers to the 5-year-old in Syracuse on the South Side who said to me one time, Dr. Simmons, I saw you on television one day. I dream of being just like you. And I said to him, you know what, young blood? Dream of being you. When we think of this idea and construct of dreams, I've learned the hard way that when you dream, you're going to have people who try to tell you that your dream is not achievable. There were people who told King to stop dreaming, but King continued to dream. There were people that told the president of this great institution to stop dreaming, but he kept dreaming. There are people throughout our society who tell us all to not dream. I'm here to tell us, you gotta dream for yourself. Because if you allow other people to dream for you, they're gonna shove you into a box that's not yours. Now, as we think about this idea of dreams, and as we think about where we go from here, I've had wounds, I've had scars, but along the way, I've enjoyed the journey. From waking up and realizing that I needed to stop playing one-on-one basketball with my 14-year-old because I had to foul to win, to realizing that my 8-year-old would pull out his abacus and he was much better at math than I am even today. At 8, using an abacus. But he had this dream that he wanted to be good at mathematics. As we take this journey, I want to give you 3 things that I've learned along the way. And I'm still continuing to learn because dreaming and learning never stops. I continue to learn how to manage my emotions as it relates to my father's lifelong incarceration. And then recently finding out that he passed away. The first thing that I will tell every young person in this room, you have to give yourself permission to dream big. You can't dream small. You have to dream big. And big is subjective. When I was a college student at Western Michigan University, I dreamed of being a teacher. That's all I wanted to do, to go back to my neighborhood in Detroit and teach. And I wanted to do that because my fourth grade teacher, Miss Cope, believed in me. So you give yourself permission to dream big. The second thing, young folks, that you got to do is that you have to take one step forward every day towards your dream. Now, as a recovering academic, I want to be clear, young people. Now, faculty in the room, ignore me. Hopefully the president is still not here. That doesn't mean I'm saying you need to go to class every day, although it's advisable. What I am saying is, in the moments when you are not in class, in the moments when you are not engaged in other activities, and you have this quiet space along this great campus looking out at Lake, you should dream. One step at a time. One day at a time. The last thing is this. Young people in this room, give yourself permission to fail. We learn more from failure than we do from success. Michael Jordan, we can debate it, greatest basketball player of all time. Young people probably think it's LeBron James. We'll go with Jordan today since I'm on the stage. All right. But here's the thing. Jordan would always say, you have to take your shot. Because if you don't shoot the shot, you don't know whether it's going to go in or not. You got to shoot it. So you have to do this one day at a time, every day. And you have to be willing to fail. You have to be willing to miss. And then you have to be willing to accept the wounds and the scars that come with it. Lastly, I want to leave you with this. One of our greatest artists and cultural icons, Tupac Shakur, one of his greatest gifts to us wasn't his music, was his book of poetry. He talked about the rose that grew from concrete. For those that are from cities where it's a concrete paradise, the imagery of a rose growing from concrete, you can see it. The rose grew from the concrete. And if we do a close read of the text, the rose grew from concrete, even though nobody else believed that it could. I leave you with this. Dream your dream. Dream a big dream. Dream a dream for yourself. And while you dream that dream, I promise you that you will know where your compass is, and it will point you towards your true north. Thank you.